Hello, and welcome to World Cultures and Geography Texas Edition for students. Today we're going to be walking through how to use myNGconnect for students. And basically what you're looking at here is the landing page. The landing page for myNGconnect has all of the different tools that a student would be using as they're preparing for their homework assignments and different activities that you'll be providing in class. So let's go ahead and start with the Student e-edition that's available both in English and in Spanish. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that there's a way to go specifically to a page and then just click Go, or you can just click on this screenshot here of the book and go to whatever unit in the table of contents that you would like. So let's say, for example, I wanted to go to Unit 4 in South America, and I wanted to study Chapter 7. You'll notice that Chapter 7 drills down to all of the different lessons that are provided within that chapter. So if I wanted to go into the Amazon River, I would click on that, and 194, and here you are. What's nice about this is that you're looking at it in a dual page layout, and directly to the left are these different MT icons that you see, and the MT icons represent modified text. Basically what it's doing is it is representing the paragraph that you see to the right of it in a modified way. Usually it's modified 1 to 2 grade levels below where a student should be. So when I click on the modified text, it will turn on or off those buttons for me. If a student doesn't understand the way the book has been written here, they can click on the modified text button and it modifies the text for them right at point of use. This is done, as I said, by paragraph. So what you're looking at here is the page, and there's a couple of other things to note when you are on these pages. For example, students can take notes on the page, and they literally can just write a note to themselves. And they can add it right to page 194. So what's great about that is that the note stays right on the page, and they can also highlight portions of the text as well by dragging and dropping the highlight wherever they need it to be. And this is just a way for them to make notes on the page as they walk through the text on their own. You will also notice that I can zoom in and zoom out of the different pages that I'm looking at. Now, if I go back to the landing page where we were earlier, there are 3 other places that students are going to be spending most of their time. When they are doing assignments or activities for you and they want to browse photography pieces and things of that nature, they would go into the digital library. So here we are in South America, and they can actually sort by the type of resource that it is. They can go into Chapter 7, they can go into all of the lessons if they want, and they can, as you can see here, sort it out by charts, video clips, graphs, and even music. So there's lots of different selections to choose from here. If they click on one of these pieces, it comes up in a full screen. What's nice about this is that they can download it and they can use it in Prezis or PowerPoint presentations any way that they see fit. And as we scroll further, you will notice that there's a lot of different types that are offered. So we have the photography pieces and the atlases, but we also have charts that they can use as part of their research when they're creating presentations for you in class. Again, all downloadable down in the bottom corner. So that's kind of how the digital library works. It is very intuitive. It allows you to go specifically into musical selections if you wanted to. And it has a lot of different ways for students to capture information that they need to use in class. Directly to the right of that is something called Maps and Graphs. And the Maps and Graphs tool has a lot of different ways for students to access information about a region. Obviously, there are the online World Atlas by unit that students can access as well. So here I am going into, any of these that are completely printable by downloading and obviously colored. But you can go back, and when you go back, you'll see that there's something called an interactive map tool. And the interactive map tool is kind of a separate way and more interactive way for students to download and create data layers of information for you when they're studying world cultures and geography. So what you'll notice on the left-hand side are different themes that students can study when they're creating these maps for you. Up at the top is something that allows you to quickly identify and create maps around specific regions around the world. So if we were studying, say, South America, I could pull up South America and then literally go into physical systems for water, for land, and then even move into climate, populations, and political maps as well that help tell a bigger story. So here I am talking about South America, but I'd like to locate the earthquakes that may fall in South America. And as you can notice here, a map shows up that represents the different magnitudes and the distribution of all of these significant earthquakes that have happened in South America. You will also notice that as I'm doing this, I can also click on other types of themes that layer on top of what we just created with the physical systems. So for example, here we're looking at the sea surface temperature. And again, color-coded so that students can see how climate on land is controlled by all of these different weather patterns. So as you can see, all of this is information that's very useful, that's very interactive because students are creating it for you, and they can even go further and custom design it even more by using the drawing tools and creating, circles or stars around different areas of the world, and then even further with these drag and drop markers that represent human elements like air transportation systems or agricultural systems that exist within the region. And notice just how many there are that you can choose from that literally drag and drop into the region that you're studying. When it comes time to save all of your work, you can download this map here and download it into a virtual file that you can keep forever. You can also share it and print it out right there if you needed to without downloading it. So that's kind of in a nutshell how to use the interactive map tool that keeps the different regions very current and very interactive for students. There are outline maps here as well. Students can go into these different outline maps, both political and physical maps, and they can use these any which way they'd like as study tools or even as part of a class discussion that you are having in class. It's just a wonderful way for students to be able to visually represent what they're learning in class with you every day. So that in a nutshell is how to use all of the different maps and tools that you have under Maps and Graphs. Directly to the right of that is the Student Toolbox, and the Student Toolbox allows students to access things pretty quickly. Like for example, when I click on Student Resources and then I go to, again, South America, I can go straight into the chapter that I'm working on and pick up different charts and informational pieces that help guide me when I'm doing my writing and all of the different research projects that I'm going to be doing in class. So that is a really great way for students to pick up their writing tools and their resources that they need to do good writing in class. Directly to the right of that is something called My Assignments. And if you have watched the previous training on how to use myNGconnect on the teacher side, you'll know how to create assignments for students to pick up when they log in. When they log in, they're going to see this. They're going to see My Assignments and all of the different assignments that are ready for them to complete on the left-hand side. And when they've completed them, they would show up in the second tab where it says Done. So in order for them to see these assignments, you would have to create those assignments on your end for them to actually see here. They don't automatically populate on their own. And then finally, the interactive map tool, which I just showed you under Maps and Graphs. It's placed here under the student toolbox so that students can get to it quicker. And if that's the only thing that they want to use, meaning they don't want to use the outline maps or anything of that nature, they just want to go strictly into the interactive map session, they can do it here under interactive map tool. So hopefully this has provided you a quick and resourceful way to use the Student e-edition. Again, remembering that everything is on this landing page that students would need to pick up and to use as part of their projects with you in class. Thank you very much.